So for more on this killing, let's get over to Lawrence Rubin. He's an analyst on international affairs from the Georgia Institute of Technology. It's good to have you with us today. So Trump has justified this killing by saying the general had been planning a major attack, but it's unclear what exactly that attack was. So can you walk us through some of the justifications Trump is using to explain this killing?
Yes, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. And to kind of refresh or go back to almost in a sense the beginning, since Friday, the administration has claimed that there is an imminent attack on U.S. forces and personnel, and I'm not quite sure on the exact wording there. And since then, there's also been more echoing of this from, say, Secretary of State Pompeo, who mentioned a very compelling argument or compelling case for this type of strike or this type of action justifying this. The question is, when it comes to what does imminent mean in that sense, and I think that's one thing that critics will probably jump onto and ask and want the administration to go further and talk about.
You know, Trump has repeatedly said that he wants American troops out of the Middle East. He says he does not want a war and that this killing was not meant to start a war. But has this action made that impossible?
I don't think it's made it impossible. And I actually do think that he does want to reduce U.S. presence in the region and that he doesn't want a war. I think he, in a sense, sees this action as a way to be unpredictable or basically keep the enemy or the adversary guessing in a certain sense. It's really hard to try to understand sometimes these actions, but this might be one way to try to understand it, and through this to control the situation, put it back in control of the United States. I think also that the reduced presence is something that he wants to see, and even if there is a commitment of 3,500 troops now, he may not consider that to be that significant. Now, the reduced presence in the United States would be for the United States in the Middle East would be consistent with, say, for instance, some of the longer-term goals that the national defense strategy outlines and wants the United States and directs the United States, almost in a sense, its military forces to focus more on great power competition, including China.
You know, Iran has promised to strike back at the United States. What are some of the options that Iran could employ to retaliate against the U.S.?
Well, we've heard a lot in the press about, say, the potential for cyber attacks. U.S. military installations in and around the region are some that we've heard about. Also against some of our allies, the United States allies in the region, against Israel, against Saudi Arabia, for example. I would imagine it would be a way that it would not confront the United States directly if there's going to be some type of attack, and it wouldn't be in a sense, a frontal assault. It would be something much more of what we might have heard of, like. But I would expect there to be some type of attempt, but probably at the time and choosing, obviously, of the leadership in Iran.
So where do you see this going? Do you think this will escalate? I mean, the big question on many people's minds is, could this lead to a war?
I don't think it would lead to a war. I think that it could probably lead to a lot of these tit for tat back and forth between the United States and Iran. The real challenging part here is that I don't think people know. This is almost uncharted territory given the extent, or almost in a sense, the type of escalation that has occurred most recently.
Well, tense moments indeed as we look at these live pictures from Tehran of massive displays of mourning for this killed Iranian general. Lawrence Rubin with the Georgia Institute of Technology, thanks for your time today. We appreciate it.